A very good evening, and thank you so much for watching Uctv News. I am Nora Osende to bring you the news on this 4th day of April 2024. Today we start with the much-heated tax amendment bill that has been tabled in Parliament. Well, today civil society organizations have come out and called the proposal by government to be regressive in nature rather than progressive. Now, this means that the taxes proposed by government, if put into place, will pinch on the common man other than the wealthy people. Uctv talked to Regina Navuga, the Program Coordinator Financing for Development at Siantini, and she broke down what this means to the common man and to business operators in Uganda. Recently, government presented a 58 trillion national budget for financial year 2024-2025 intended to focus on full monetarization of Ugandan economy. The proposed budget was accompanied by 5 tax bills, including the excise tax duty bill, the stamp duty, the tax procedures code bill, the value-added tax bill, the income tax bill 2024. Regina Navuga, the Program Coordinator Financing for Development at Siantini, says that these tax amendments will hit hard and trickle down to the poor man rather than the wealthy people.
Some of them are regressive in nature, as opposed to being progressive. And by progressive, I mean that those who have more should be taxed more, those who earn more on their income should be paying their fair share of taxes, and those who have less should not be paying, really shouldn't bearing the tax burden.
The Uganda tax proposal may cause distortion in the East African community when it comes to tax exemptions. She noted that these are not bad, however, there are cases when it can be harmful. For instance, when it does not provide a leveled ground, it can be distorted in nature. With this, she called for tax expenditure governance framework to address harmful tax incentives.
Imagine if I get a tax incentive, I'm in the dairy industry, you're in the dairy industry as well, you don't get a tax incentive. How will you feel? That will not be fair if the terms and conditions are not met. 2 years back, government developed the tax expenditure governance framework, and this is really just guidelines on how the tax exemptions can be managed in Uganda. And they have committed that they will be addressing the harmful tax incentives, coming up with a structure, ensuring that we balance between the costs and the benefits. A number of times we have been putting government on pressure that when you look at the benefits vis-a-vis the costs of giving the tax exemptions, they do not match up. A number of times we get tax exemptions because government has promised, or that investors have promised that they will give us more jobs. They will put in place say good roads, among other those rosy promises, which they do not meet. And this, this could also be, I don't want to say a blame game, because you might find that government is not doing its work at the end of the day. They need to monitor that if I've given you tax incentives, is it working? Is it not working? What are the likely penalties or actions that can be taken if all these measures that have been put on paper are not met?
In regards to the foreign exemptions on capital venture firms, this is an opportunity taken advantage by the foreign firms, and this means that foreign firms will not have to reinvest 50% of the benefits from the business in the country.
For us who are analyzing some of these proposals, we are thinking that that is really going to benefit the rich. You asked about what does this mean? What is the implication when it comes to the ordinary citizen? The ordinary citizen is not in this picture because it's benefiting those who can afford. And yet those are the same people who should be paying their fair share of taxes from what they've earned. But you're exempting them. You're removing this conditionality of reinvesting the proceeds in Uganda. They take out all the money, go back and develop the economies, and then you tax the citizens more to meet the gap. Is that fair?
While tax exemptions for specialized hospital facilities means that the common citizens who cannot afford specialized hospital facilities will not benefit from it.
When you say specialized hospital facilities, for me, it's still everyone might try to upgrade if they have that chance. Of course, hospitals are paying taxes currently on their, I think, profits. If you say specialized hospital facilities, we would want to see this exemption translated or benefiting the common citizens. These specialized hospital facilities, you might find that even if they have the exemptions, when anyone is sick, the prices that they charge are quite high. So there is need to reconsider and see who it will be benefiting. Yes, they are necessary, but what happens? Will we achieve the intended benefit of extending some of these services to the ordinary citizens?
Nora Osende, UCTV News. Still, the tax proposals that have been presented to Parliament by the State Minister of Finance in charge of general duties, that's Henry Musasizi, have drawn mixed reactions from the public. Now, UCTV spoke to the public, and this is what they had to say.
Last Thursday, the State Minister for General Duties in the Ministry of Finance, Henry Musasizi, presented the highlights for the next financial year national budget, which involved the proposal of amending and introduce 5 tax proposals that included Income Tax Amendment Bill 2024, Value-Added Tax Amendment Bill 2024, Tax Procedures Code Amendment Bill 2024, the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024, and the Stamp Duty Amendment Bill 2024. In regard to the excise duty tax proposal, the government moves to impose a Uganda shillings 1,230 tax on every gas oil litre, a 1,550 Uganda shillings tax on every paraffin litre, a 5% withholding tax on profits from sale of land in cities and municipalities, sale of rental property and sale of shares in a private company. In an engagement with Asman Odak, the National Economic Empowerment Dialogue Political Party Secretary General, he blasted the government's intention for the new side tax proposals and as well offered several of what he believes to be convenient alternatives on how the government can generate more revenue other than throwing more taxes on the shoulders of the citizens.
Let's fight corruption. We lose, according to IGG's own report, we lose 11 trillion every year to corruption. That's one. Number two, let us have impose the revenue, let us tax the gold. Imagine the other 11 trillion you have recovered from corruption, you also recover from gold 70 trillion, that's already 18 trillion. Then the issue of tax exemption. This economy, there is no need for tax exemptions for the whites. Now, tax exemption 9 trillion plus 18, that's already 20, you're dealing with the 27 trillion. 27 trillion. Now, deal with these bypasses which go into private pockets. Before you know it, you have covered the URA.
The leadership of the old tax pack has also frowned at the proposals, as Abbas Mutebi stated that the new taxes will not only raise the cost of living, but there has been inconsistent service delivery by the government.
Tusaba government wa parliament wakati kiri mu parliament etuyambe ensonga y'amafuta n'ejjongerako naddala diesel bafekere ko ssennyo diesel baleke mwongerako ssente olw'ensonga emmotoka etikka amanda emmotoka etikka amatooke eyaffe eya takisi ekwesa diesel okusinga. Tusaba gavumenti ligikubira omulanga wamu ne parliament ebintu gye biri ensonga y'amafuta baleke ejjongerako musolo oguliko kutumala bulungi nagwo tunyigiriza naye tewali kyakukola katugenda oguliwo baleme twongerako musolo. Ekirala amakubo gonna mafu. Ensonga y'omusolo siyali badde mbi kuba buli nsi ewa omusolo ne bayibuli ne Kurani zayogera ku musolo naye omusolo tegukola makubo gaffe. Amakubo gonna mabi ge tuyita naddala mu Kampala moka zaffe zazifudde ziweddewo kati gendere tunayongerako esinja ebitaano ebimeka tezigenda kutuyamba n'olwekyo tusigaliraawo tumete kutongerako musolo.
Ronald Mwanje, a boda rider in Kampala, reasoned that the idea has not been brought in good faith and accused political leaders for lacking patriotism while making decisions of national importance.
lack of patriotism among the leaders. So buli abatukulembera senga bafuna mwoyo gwa ggwanga amazima buli kimu kisobola okuteerera naye balinganga be bajja ebweru ne bajje batufuge nti si bannansi kusinziira ku bye bakola. That is my idea for the government. Basoke bafune mwoyo gwa ggwanga, then we start collecting tax. Everyone will get goods from the tax. If the readers have patriotism. So that is my issue.
Joseph Kabale, UCTV News.
The Buganda Kingdom has tasked the Patriotic League of Uganda to come out and fight against corruption that's in Uganda for better service delivery. Now, these remarks were made by the Katikiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Maiga, that's at Bulange Mengo today in a meeting held by the delegation from the Patriotic League of Uganda, who came out to purchase the running kits for the 11th edition of the Kabaka Run.
Patriotic League of Uganda. I know some of you by face and name, but I'll not risk.
Members of the Patriotic League talking about the scourge of corruption many times, and it's one of the biggest challenges Uganda is facing today. And as you may know, people are facing economic hardships, the ordinary people in particular, but also businesses. You are able to release the list of companies which are downsizing. I think you saw it. So there are economic hardships even for businesses, but particularly for the ordinary man and woman. Now, when the country is experiencing economic hardships, when businesses are downsizing and the corrupt enjoy their loot openly, wantonly, then it will be difficult for you to do your job of cultivating patriotism. It will be very difficult. The corrupt need to be apprehended, to be tried, to be punished. You are very influential people. Look at the ministers here. Look at General Hall. I see someone flying his flag. It's the CDF. Look at the MPs. All of you are very influential. Fight corruption truthfully, and we see it. The corrupt should be arrested. They should be punished heavily. Corruption should be made very expensive for those who participate in it, and you should lead that. Not just the ones that people get arrested. They should be, you know, when you visit the hospitals, and you see how your mothers are suffering, when you visit the schools and then they tell you somebody in the ministry took all the money for him or herself, and the kids are sitting on the ground, the primary school is not roofed. That kid could be your brother's son. Corruption is making the country angry, and the Patriotic League should make the country smile. Kids, 20 million worth of kids for the Kabaka's birthday run. And you know, the Kabaka is the champion of the fight against HIV/AIDS, picked by UNAIDS, and we want to banish AIDS out of Uganda by 2030. And as you can see, the Kabaka is the unifying factor. Everybody comes here. Like you said, Mr. Minister, sir, I cannot choose the political parties that people want to subscribe to. I cannot. I cannot choose anyone, the religion to follow, or even the region of birth. None of us chose where to be born. So my brother from Karamoja, from West Nile, from Lano, from Renzori, you want to come here? My door is open. You're wearing a yellow tie, or a red tie, or a green tie, or whichever color, my door is open. I've got only one condition. You must acknowledge the Kabaka is the head of Uganda. If you don't think the Kabaka is the head of Uganda, I will not open the door for you. I'm a very straightforward person. What you see is what you get. If you don't think the Kabaka is the head here, don't come in here. Don't come into his house. But if you know the Kabaka is the head of Uganda, come. I am the Kabaka's eldest son in that sense. I welcome everybody as my young brother, my young sister. So even after we've run, come back and have a chat, take a cup of coffee. My brother Toyota, come. I like the name Toyota. I sit in the Toyota. I drive in a Toyota. You know,
it be achieved if we combine all our efforts together. Government, cultural institutions, non-governmental organizations, and civil society organizations like Patriotic League of Uganda. So our main reason of coming here is to come and support the Kabaka through you. Birthday run. And also come and tell you that we are praying that this activity becomes very, very successful. Our chairman, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, would have been here himself, but now he has just taken on a new role, and therefore he is still acclimatizing and familiarizing with the new office. But he sent his lieutenants here to come and represent him. You can see a high-powered delegation which is composed of NRM MPs, independent MPs. I think people who are here, some are FDC, some are non-partisan like you, but we are all coming here as patriotically of Uganda. You all the best, and we know that this will end well. Our chairman gave us a contribution, a simple contribution, a token of 20 million shillings. We are going to hand over to you at an appropriate time. You know, all issues are very complicated. You will tell me when to hand it over to you. I can hand it at the wrong time and I cause problems. But that is the token of appreciation that he has sent over to you. Wanga wasawa sajja, nena wakereka Uganda.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, plus other stakeholders, have launched the Braille and the audio-visual versions of Citizens' Guide to the Budget for fiscal year 2023-2024. This intended to promote inclusivity, accessibility, and citizens' participation in the national budget process.
And I work as Executive Director of Uganda Debt Network. I salute you all. We in the civil society are honored to be part of this launch and audio-visual versions of the Citizens' Guide to the Budget, financial year 2023-2024. This is a great milestone towards inclusiveness in the budget, participation and transparency. And so this is in line with the Global Development Agenda, including the SDGs, which underscore the key principle of leaving no one behind. Section 15, subsection C of the Persons with Disabilities Act 2020 for the provision of Braille of the publication information such as government documents and publications, and pursuant to the 2021 budget survey report recommendations to actively engage vulnerable and vulnerable communities in the national budget processes. The Braille version of the Citizens Guide to the Budget to be launched today will make budget information accessible to people who are visually impaired, affording them an opportunity to independently read, understand the content, participate actively.
It shows allocation to special interest groups, and these are elderly, 126,854,464. Hope that is where I am. Yeah. Women, 14,536,502 shillings. We have persons with disabilities, 13,645,500. Then we have the youth, 5,498,639. Below is the table showing the budget. That's okay.
I think that's fine. Do you want her to go through the table? That's okay. Thank you.
What we wanted is to demonstrate how all levels in their communities and an approach critical to the realization of the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. This is indeed very important because it ensures that development is disability inclusive. To continuously foster transparency and accountability in government, we must endeavor to provide clear information using accessible channels and in the right format about how national resources are collected and spent. When citizens are equipped with correct and relevant information, they are empowered to ask critical questions, which will help to facilitate and strengthen the process of allocation of national resources at all levels across all sectors in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the production of the Braille and audiovisual version formats of the Citizens Guide to the National Budget for 2023-2024 is a collaborative effort aimed at fostering inclusivity. I'm glad to share that this is the first initiative supported by UNICEF in 21 countries in Eastern and Southern Africa. This is really something that we need to applaud the government of Uganda and the peoples of Uganda. It actually places Uganda as the lead in support for access to information by the visually and hearing impaired members of our society. As UNICEF, we believe that this is not merely an act of providing information, but a strong act of empowerment, enabling these individuals to participate actively in shaping their own future and that of their communities. Throughout history, individuals with disabilities have faced countless barriers in accessing information and services, even leading to marginalization and social exclusion. The lack of accessible formats has further exacerbated these challenges, particularly in fostering civic engagement. However, today, more bold steps are being taken to break down these barriers and foster a truly inclusive society. However, more still needs to be done, and it can be done. This is just one step. We hope that views collected from citizens can be responded to and included in subsequent budget processes. This will greatly improve Uganda's open budget score in the budget transparency, which has recently flattened below the required threshold of 61. I think you need to, in the budget transparency, we have the three areas. That is participation, oversight, and transparency. In the transparency component, we flattened around 61, and we need to get out of that. And I think this is one big step in ensuring that we are able to make that. And this also enables us in articulating the leave no one principle of the Sustainable Development Goals, which, as you are aware, Uganda is scheduled to present her Sustainable Development Goals voluntary national review process in July 2024. This process that we are doing today will go a long way in articulating what Uganda has done in ensuring that we are leaving no Ugandan behind. And I think we would have this really included. I mean, the government really needs to have this included in the VNR process. And that will really go a long way in ensuring that the VNR process for Uganda is really transformative and other countries can learn from Uganda.
Now it's time for Today in History. Thank you so much for watching UCTV News. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be back with the Rome reports.
UCTV, good news for all.
Catch incredible stories of resilience, success.
You can manage that money.
With a topping of inspiration.
Get interested in people, not interested in yourself.
Inspire, achieve, repeat.
You are watching UCTV, good news for all. For this and more, tune in to Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Toboka, Ukute, the business show, Propeller, the request show and sports, Evaluation, Bahinga Bakuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a no car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773-597-166 or visit our website www.kasesegetradio.com. Kasese Get Radio, Omusondoria, the voice of truth.
UCTV, good news for all.
Thank you so much for watching UCTV News. It has been nice having you. I am Nora Osende from the entire team, and I have yourself a good evening.